Hi everyone, and welcome back to Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Sorry for my absence, but today I'm joined once again by Elias, and we're going to introduce you to a little new community mystery that, as of this recording, has been solved, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to being introduced to it. Elias, why don't you tell us a little bit about what I'm about to do?
Yes, this is a new module that came out very recently, referred to as Point of Order. In this module, well, it's based on the card game that it originates from. Part of the idea is you have to deduce the rules as you go. So, similar to that, the manual was mostly blank, and by playtesting, data analysis, and so on, the community had to build the manual, so to speak, which they have done at this point. Took about 4 days total. So, a difficult task, but one that was accomplished for sure.
I'll be honest, I was hoping that the mystery would last at least as long as the weekend so I could record this episode, but here we are, it's a Thursday, and I am looking at a 30-minute bomb with 5 modules where I will attempt to figure out the rules based on a bare minimum of advice given to me by Elias. Here we go. Oh, I also have a little pen and paper with me so that I can take notes if that is handy. Is this thing actually right? Okay, good. Let's see now. Alright. Here's my edge work, Elias, if I can get this zoom right.
Okay.
I've got 4 batteries and 2 holders. Lit IND, lit CLR, 2 RJ45 ports, stereo RCA port, DVID port, parallel port, serial port. Serial number Golf India 9 Echo Mike 1. I have not played this in a while. I'm bad at remembering things.
It's alright.
Alright.
Confirming that serial, it was Golf India 9 Echo Mike 1.
Checking. Yes.
Alright.
So, point of order. I see a hand of cards. The backs of the solution cards are red. And the cards that I'm looking at are King of Spades, 10 of Hearts, 6 of Clubs, 3 of Diamonds, Queen of Spades. Alright. If I can't actually see what's on the cards, so...
Nope, not until you are ready to make a guess.
Alright, so... The game you said it was based on a game, so looking at it, I'm inclined to say... just 5-card draw poker? Am I
Nope.
off base with that? No? Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm not terribly up on my card games. Bridge, perhaps?
No, definitely a much less common one than that.
Gin rummy?
Still a little ways away.
Yeah, I'm, again, really not up on it, so... as an experiment, if I were to click a card, would it actually flip over and cause a strike?
If you click a card, it will flip all 4 over. Clicking any card kind of initializing you looking at your hand.
Okay.
Which, you've got enough strikes if you want to do that to take a look at what you've got as a set of options.
Okay, flipping the cards. Queen of Hearts, 9 of Clubs, 4 of Hearts, 9 of Hearts. And then it struck and they all flipped over again.
Yep, you are on a timer to submit the correct answer.
I see. So, I said Queen of Hearts, 4 of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, and what was the second one?
I don't recall offhand what it was.
Well, I'm taking notes of it anyway. Just to see. Alright. Well, since I'm not grasping the card game...
I think it's fair to give you that, because I believe that was initiated, or mentioned pretty early. It's based on the game Mao.
Mao. Okay, I really don't know that one. Can you tell me something about it?
It's very simply kind of a discarding game where the idea is to get rid of your hand, with a set of rules that change as the game goes along. There's certain standard rules that are sometimes but not always in play, and other rules that can be added as the game goes along.
Okay. Is the card's face value... what parts of the card's face values are relevant here? Suits? Sheer value?
Depends on the rules, but potentially it could be suits or ranks.
Okay. Is there like a trump system or something to that effect? Where...
No.
Okay. Are suit values considered, from are certain suits valued higher than others, like in Bridge?
Depends on how you want to interpret part of the rules. Technically,
Okay.
no, but you could stretch one of the rules and say yes.
Okay,
But
so based on what
mainly
you've told me, and what I'm looking at, the card colors are relevant, as in the backs of the cards,
That is correct.
I would assume. And I would assume that a combination of that plus edge work is something that would contribute to what rule set I'd be looking at.
Well, you said the color was irrelevant, which is true. So the edge work is your determining factor.
Oh, the edge work's the only... I said the backs of the cards were relevant, so...
Then you got an extra hint you shouldn't have. I thought you said irrelevant.
I see. Well... Okay, so if the edge work is the only determining factor, then... Based on what you've told me about the game, then the edge work is going to be what tells me what rule set I'm going to be working with, and hence what card I need to select
Yes.
as my eventual solution. So I guess I'll ask about the edge work then. For this, would... I guess, is the serial number relevant?
Yes.
Okay. Are specific port types relevant?
No.
Are just number of ports relevant?
No.
Are ports relevant in any way?
No.
Fascinating. Number of batteries?
No.
Lit or unlit indicators?
No.
Okay, so I can only assume then that serial number and the cards themselves are the only factors that matter for this?
Correct.
Okay. So, now I think I need to understand a bit more about the game proper to get there. Now, you said.
Mhm.
So, you said that to solve your objective is to get rid of a hand, and to do so, you need to, I guess, start with a card that would eliminate some other card in your hand, like canceling it out?
Think more like Uno or Crazy Eights.
Okay, so you'd want to match cards?
That general idea where what has been played is a indicator of what you can play.
Okay. Okay, I think I get it. So would I then need to... Would it make more sense to say I'd need to match based on suit or based on face value?
Depends.
On other rules governed by the module. Well... Is there any reason to seek kind of combinations like you would in poker, where, say, you're trying to complete a set of cards by suit or by ascending or descending value or match value or anything like that?
Not really, no.
Okay.
If you see a pattern there, it'll probably be coincidental.
Okay. So my first inclination then is based on what I'd already told you, or what I told you my options of cards were. I'd almost want to say Queen of Hearts is the right answer.
That would not have been the correct answer in this case, of those
Nice.
options.
I see.
Now, because I think this will be interesting information for you, and you have a ridiculous number of strikes on this mission. No, this is the Pork You training one you said.
Yep, so
So
3
you are
strikes.
limited to the usual 3.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm limited to the usual 3, is that a reason for you to give me the information or not?
Yeah, because you won't get to play around with a module as much as when we were trying to solve it. We actually had a 5,000 strike mission.
Very nice.
So you could, fail the module 8, 10, 12, 20 times. What I was going to indicate with you is if you flip the cards over, you may get 4 completely different cards.
I see. Yeah, that would be an unpleasant surprise given, but... So, I can assume then that if the cards are different every time, then it's not actually... the cards themselves don't factor into the solution.
I think that's incorrect if I'm interpreting it correctly. The cards are relevant. I mean, they're important.
But if they can change every time, then it's not that there's one specific card out of those 4.
That is wrong. That specific phrase you said is wrong.
Okay. So, based on the hand and based on the serial number, the combination of the 2, you're saying then, will point to one specific card that has to be the... No?
No. Including the hand, yes. And to be clarified with terms, hand is the 4 cards that are face down.
Okay.
The 5 cards displayed are I guess you'd call them a pile, I think is the common term.
Your pile. Alright, so the top is a pile, the bottom is a hand.
Yes.
So, okay, then just so that I'm not misinterpreting anything here. The serial number, the combination of the serial number and the pile is giving me a potential solution. Not a specific card, but one sort of possible card that will appear when the 4 cards in my hand flip over.
You're correct in that it will not give you a specific card. You are also correct that it will give you some sort of indicator.
And that indicator can be either a suit or a value or both?
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes it can be just the suit, sometimes it can be just the value, sometimes it can be both?
Actually, no, I take it back. It can't be one or the other or both. There's a restriction in there.
Since we're getting into the nitty-gritty of it, maybe you can be a little more explicit.
It will give you... How about I give you this?
Okay.
That particular example you have, how about I give you the solution to this one? Maybe see if that'll help you piece together some of what I'm hinting at.
Alright, let's do it.
For this particular module, your solution will be an 8, a 9, a 2, or a 3, and it will be of spades or hearts.
8, 9, 2, 3 of spades or hearts. So in the previous flip, I should have clicked 9 of hearts.
Correct.
Okay. So let me just take a look at that serial number again. Well, it contains a 9, but it also contains a 1, so... It's not... I don't believe the letters are corresponding to any particular... Well, let me just flip... I'm gonna just do the typical thing and flip the cards and see if that solution passes muster, just in case.
Okay.
In case of mistake. 8, 9, 2, 3.
Of spades or hearts.
Funnily enough, I didn't see one that time. One that factored into both. So that's my second strike.
Do you recall what you did see?
I might have just missed it, and no, I didn't, because I was eagle-eyed looking for those. So I'm gonna just go ahead and flip one more time and see what comes of it.
Okay.
8, 9, 2. Yeah, I came up with a 2 of hearts that time, so I must have just missed it. I did see an ace of hearts in the last flip that I think confused me a bit. So 2 of hearts was correct on that.
Mm-hmm. That was a valid solution.
Mm-hmm. So 8, 9, 2, 3 of spades, 4 of hearts. Of the original pile, there was a 3, but there weren't any others. And there were 2 spades and 1 heart. So let's see. Are there any kind of direct correspondences based on this pattern? Are there any direct correlations between number of letters and number of numbers to face value of suit and suit to be selected specifically?
Interesting.
Yes. That was very poorly worded, I know, but the idea is I'm looking at a serial number that contains 4 letters, and you gave me 4 face values and 2 numbers, and you gave me 2 suits. Is that part of the pattern at all?
The fact that there are 4 letters is relevant, yes. Okay. That is a determining factor in something.
Well, as I'm watching the timer tick down, I'm a little concerned about the vagary, but let's see. Okay, so number of letters. So the ratio of numbers to letters is relevant in determining a solution, yes?
Yes, and let me ask you this. Are you aware of the game's internal rules for generating a serial number?
At the bare minimum, I can tell you that the previous 3 characters are always letter, number, I think.
You can back it up one more. It's always number, letter, number.
Okay.
So the only variability you have is in the first 2 characters, if they're numbers or letters.
Okay. So, I guess just in a very general sense is a rule for point of order that if there are more letters, this applies. If there are more numbers, this applies. And if there's an equal number of both, then this applies.
Yes, but you can be even a little more specific than that. You've combined 2 of the 4 cases.
Huh. I don't think I'm picking up on the hint, unfortunately.
You gave me the condition where there's 4 letters. You gave me the condition where there's 4 numbers.
Yep.
But there's 2 ways you can get 3 numbers, 3 letters.
Which are that if the first character is a number or if the second character is a number.
Yes.
Is that it? Okay.
That is relevant.
Okay. So in this case, I'm looking at more letters than numbers.
Yep.
And well, then let's compare it with another module on this same bomb. Next one is Ace of Diamonds, 5 of Spades, 8 of Hearts, 4 of Hearts, and 7 of Hearts. Now, my question to you is the solution also one that that contains 4 numbers and 2 letters? Or 4 numbers and 2 suits?
Yes.
Okay. And is that just purely owing to the serial number, or is it just something coincidental about the pile that I have?
That particular pile has a trait about it that makes that true, as well as the serial.
I see. So what's similar about that pile versus the first one? Is the relevant characteristic to do with the... Is it that there's a face card? Or, no, there isn't technically a face card, it's an ace, so...
Nope.
Is it that... Well, no, that it can't be repeating suit, because that has to be the case. So...
Do you recall what I gave you as the solution for the last one?
Yes, 8, 9, 2, 3, spades and hearts.
Would you like to take a guess at any part of the solution to this one?
Is a 4 a possibility?
It is, actually.
The only reason I would correlate that is that the fourth card in the pile is a 4.
Which is sort of a reason. It's really more of a side effect of a reason.
Because the serial number is telling you that I need to look at a specific card in the pile?
No.
Okay.
And I'll at this point, let me clarify this piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you rules for playing the 6th card, but each card that has been played after the 1st is following this same set of rules. So the rules that govern that you had to play an 8, 9, 2, 3 of spades, hearts, also, in the previous example, also governed that the Queen of Spades was a valid play on top of the 3 of diamonds. So whatever rule or rules you are looking for apply to each play in the pile, including the last one.
Unfortunately, I think my lack of familiarity with the game and what theoretical rules could and could not exist is somewhat hamstringing my ability to see a pattern. I've got just over 2 minutes left, it looks like, because I'm on double strike time. So, Alright, let's take a look. 8, 9, 2, 3 for my first one. And 4 was correct, but not for the reason that I thought it was.
If you had to make a... Go ahead.
Are you adding or subtracting a certain number to the face cards on the pile?
Very, very, very close. One word in your sentence needs to be slightly tweaked.
So I said, are you adding or subtracting a value to the cards on the pile?
Okay, if you think that's the case, what was added in each step in this one?
Well, the last one would be 0.
Are you referring to rank or suit?
Rank. When I said value, I was referring entirely to rank.
I thought so. So, from the 4 to the 7 is not a 0. And the 7 to the 4 answer that you suggested.
As I said, the reason I suggested 4 was just that it was a 4th card in the pile, as was 3 to the... Okay, so I'm taking a difference between the two cards in the...
Yes.
In the pile. So 2 adjacent cards, meaning that 7 to 4 is 3, 8 to 4 is 4, 5 to 8 is 3 again, and then... Alright, so I'm looking for a 3 or a 4, or possibly a... Ace is the equivalent of 3rd. Ace is the... So I'm looking for an 8, a 3, or a 4?
3 and 4 are correct.
Well, speaking of 3 and 4, I just saw those numbers go by. Go by. Okay. Let's see here.
Definitely did pick up some key information there.
It was rather limited, but... Alright. In the interest of perhaps not wheedling around too much longer, I'm gonna click retry. And... I'm gonna... Whoa. Alright, so it looks as though module training does not sort of accurately calculate reasonable sizes for bombs based on the thing I just loaded.
Oh, no. It does not.
So, yeah. I'm looking at and my eyes are glazing over just trying to... I'm pretty sure this is a 16 by 16 bomb. With
Good to know
5
that you're
modules
subscribed
on
to that,
it.
though.
Let's see. I can zoom in pretty far on the thing, but it's still playable. Still okay.
All right.
Let's just go with it.
Okay. Serial number is relevant. That is the only piece of edge work we need.
Okay, now can I actually find the thing? Here we go. 109 India Quebec 9. So now we're looking at more letters, more numbers than letters.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just verify that I read that correctly, because 109 India Quebec 9, because this bomb is a real nasty piece of work. Okay.
Alright.
And I'm just writing it down. And my first pile will be 4 of diamonds, queen of hearts, 2 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 5 of hearts.
I think...
So...
Ooh.
I said 2 of spades, and 6 of diamonds, and 5 of hearts. So based on what I'd surmised earlier about the difference in rank between each pair of cards as being relevant, is that still the case? Is that still the case even though the serial number rule is different now?
The serial number does not in and of itself make that not true. However, this particular module does not follow that rule.
I see. Is it? And you've gathered that just based on the suits and face values of the cards I've just given you.
And something to do with the serial number, yes.
And something to... Well, great. If I give you another set of face cards, will you tell me if the same rules apply?
Yes!
Okay. Jack of hearts, queen of spades, jack of clubs, 9 of hearts, 4 of diamonds.
This one follows the same set of rules as the previous one from this bomb. It also does not follow the
Which
difference
isn't the
rule.
same as the... Oh boy. Making my life difficult. Okay, here's another one. Jack of hearts, 6 of hearts, 10 of diamonds, 6 of spades, 2 of clubs.
Still no. Same set of rules yet again.
Alright, 4 of hearts, 8 of diamonds, queen of hearts, 3 of spades, 8 of clubs.
This one does follow the set of rules.
That was established in the previous bomb.
Yes.
Huh. So the serial number changes the set of rules. I'm a combination of the serial number and the face and the face cards on the and the cards on the pile dictate what rule set you're looking at. So it's
Yes.
a bit like a table lookup in that regard.
You could do it that way, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But in this case, so for this specific example, I'm looking at the difference between the ranks on the cards on the pile in pairs in order to determine what value of cards I'm looking at for my solution.
For this particular example, yes.
Okay. So that is, from my calculation, 4, then 4 again, then 12, 3, 9, and 5.
Okay. I will tell you that card ranks they loop.
Okay, so queen isn't 12?
Queen is 12, but queen to 3 is not 9. You're taking the long path of 9, but if you go the other way, considering ace both high and low.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not quite sure I grasp the context on that one.
If we go the other direction from queen, king, ace, 2, 3.
Okay. So instead of 9, it would be 3 because I'm
4.
adding. Oh. So it's 4 again?
Yep.
Okay.
Queen plus 4, so king, ace, 2, 3. Consider the ace being after the king and before the 2, so that the whole thing's a big circle.
I see. Alright. So 4, 4, 4, 5? So my only possible face card responses are 4 and 5?
Your only possible would not be the numbers 4 and 5, but would be the differences of 4 and 5. So you see that there's, actually in this case it's always a sum, but in the previous one you had differences as well. They differ by 4 or 5 every time, so your next card will also differ by 4 or 5.
So if it'll differ by 4 and 5, how do I determine what the possible solutions are? Because...
Add 4 and 5 to your 8, subtract 4 and 5 to your 8. So if you subtract, that'll give you a 3 or a 4 as an option. And if you add the 4, 5, you get 9, 10, Jack, Queen, or King as options. Those are the cards that are 4 or 5 ranks away from an 8.
Okay. And in this case, the 8's relevant because it's the last card in this pile?
Yes.
Okay.
Your card is always being played on the last card. So if you're using this sort of plus or minus so many cards, it's always based off the last one to get your answer one.
I see. So once again, 4 and 5 off the 8 means that my solutions are 3 and 4 and 4 and 5 and Queen and King, you said?
Yep.
Okay, so then the question is, what determines the correct suits?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a separate process entirely?
Yes.
Alright.
And you actually, I'll remind you, you actually commented on this particular process earlier with your serial number. One of the details you were inquiring about.
Being the occurrence of letters or numbers?
Yes.
Okay, so in this case, I'm looking at a situation of 4 numbers and 2 letters.
Yes. Your first 2 characters are both numbers, whereas in the last example, they were both letters.
Okay. And the first 2 are relevant to determining the correct suit. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so based on that, in the last instance, both of them being letters produced a result of spades and hearts. So in this case, it's clubs and diamonds?
It produced a result of spades and hearts on a spade.
Okay. Because that was the last card.
Correct.
Okay, so spades and hearts on a spade from 2 letters. So if it's 2 numbers on a club, at the risk of sounding like I'm brute forcing it, is it hearts and diamonds?
1 is correct.
Nah, of course it is.
The diamonds is correct.
Diamonds is correct. Well, in the absence of trying to redraw the whole table,
Yes.
can I say that the reason for that is that part of why I asked about the bridge with the suits being ranked is this a case of is this a case of, say, more certain suits are considered more valuable than others, and so based on whether you have a letter or a number, you're adding or subtracting?
That's an alternate way of doing it. That's actually very similar to how I did it when I was working through this particular rule. But I'll give you yes on that. And for the sake of being able to see this, since you got that far, we had a ridiculous amount of data to look at when we did this, somewhere around 200,000 modules, I think.
And admittedly, here I am, just one poor bastard with my good
so
friend
far,
Elias on the other end, who is probably boring the hell out of his viewers and listeners by just staring at this module until it burns into my computer monitor.
Nah. So I will give you the mappings that were very apparent when we realized what we were looking towards.
Okay.
In the case that the first character was a letter, one option was your same suit.
Okay.
If the first character was a number, one option was the other suit of the same color.
Alright.
If you had the second character as a letter, spades becomes hearts, hearts chooses clubs, club chooses diamond, diamond chooses spade. So spades to hearts to clubs to diamonds. If the second character was a number, you go the other direction. Spades to diamonds to clubs to hearts.
So it's rotate one forwards in one case, rotate one backwards in the other.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay.
So
and
in this case...
then either keep your suit of the same color or swap to the other one. In this case of, this was a number, you would take the other suit of this, or the other suit of the same color, and forward in that.
So, spade, diamond.
Spade, diamond, yes.
So, 3, 4, queen, king, spade, diamond.
Yep.
Let's hit it. 4 of spades is correct. And with that, and 16 minutes left on this bomb, I think I'm just gonna call it.
Yep. I mean, you've essentially solved the first and the third rule. The first being your dictation of suit, and your third being the dictation of plus or minus so many. Although you haven't figured out where that particular number comes from.
True. Though for that, I think we're gonna have to look to the thread and the support of this community for more potential answers. As well, I will admit this may not have been terribly enthralling viewing, but I certainly had fun doing it. I hope you did too, Elias.
Oh, I certainly did.
So next time we play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, we're gonna find something a little different to do, I am sure. In the meantime, have a good one.
Have fun.